Okay, so front splits today. We will start standing up, and like I mentioned, um, we get a roller or your massage balls. You don't even need to take them out of their tote. Um, if you have a roller, whether you have a roller or a balls, we'll start by rolling our arches and our insteps. Wow, great placement of my coffee. You can't see anything. Um, and just give it a nice quick little massage. Roll them up and down. If you have your balls on a tote, like if you have the two balls and they're either inside a sock or a little bag, it's kind of fun to play around, kind of like rotating your foot in and out towards the inset and outer arch, I guess that was called. So yeah, roll your feet in and out. When you are ready, park at a great spot or sweet spot, and just put a little bit more weight onto that. And the reason why we're doing this is because in order to do those front splits, you kind of want to release all the fascia around it for a little bit. Yeah. I never knew, but apparently this works very great. When you are ready, just switch your feet and roll the other foot. Be gentle. I know, and I mean, we're not wearing as much boots. I mean, I don't know, maybe Mary is living in Montreal. How's the snow in there? Maybe still some heavy.
It actually like all melted.
Oh, goody.
And
Yeah,
it's
here
kind
too.
of gross.
Oh, so we've gone past that stage of melting. It's like gone, gone. I was telling my friends in Mexico that there's only like very certain spots where, you know, like in between buildings that like never, like the sun never hits that certain spot. Like there's like a pile of snow, and I'm like, where, what? All right, friends. Put your ball aside and just let's go down on the floor, and we'll roll our hamstrings a little bit. Again, if you want to keep your balls on your toes, totally cool. Or I feel like the single ball for hamstrings is a lot more intense. So it depends on what you want to feel today, right? So we'll roll the hamstrings up and down. Then we'll park at a little spot, and then we'll flex and point. Yeah. So go ahead and do it at your own time. And just be very gentle. Remember, I like to always relate the hamstrings with your tricep. As you know, tricep, it's called tricep because it has three like little strings of muscles, right? And it is the same for your hamstring. So that you have the one in the middle and the two on the sides. And yeah, so don't be afraid to rotate your leg in and out while you're massaging, and see how that makes it feel. If you have a roller nearby and just want a not so intense roll, or go for the roller because it's a little bit nicer than the one ball. And when you're ready, park at that sweet spot. For me, for example, is right where the hamstring inserts, right where the bum starts and the leg finishes. yes, or the other way around. And just kind of stop in there and sit very tall. Stick your bum out a little bit and then lean forward, just a little bit. Do keep on breathing. If this spot is not doing anything for you, or if it's doing too much, feel free to move your bowl or your roller around. Come back a little bit, adjust your bowl just for a little tiny bit so that you target a different area. Doesn't have to be a big movement. Do the same, lengthen your spine, pull up to the ceiling, stick your bum out, and then lean forward. You get a little tangly sensation in your toes. Yeah, that happens. Come back out of your lean. If you need to adjust the bowl, go for it again. And we'll just do a little bit of flex and pointing here. Flex, point, flex, and point in your toes. Flex, point, and flex, and point. Great. Let us go ahead and roll the other leg. Turn around. Take your time. Just experiment with all the feels. You can go as high up as to your bum if you want to. Woo. And because today we're doing front splits, I think I mentioned it during class last week. Remember, your front splits equal your punche in class. So 10, 10, 10. When you're ready, park your ball at that sweet spot. And also another thing is like, for example, right now, a lot of my weight is still on the other leg. But if I want a more intense, and this is already intense for me, if you want a more intense, you can always be completely sitting on that ball. Pretty much your hips are, your bum is kind of floating off the ground. Lengthen your spine, sit very tall, stick your bum out, and then lean forward. Keep on breathing. Come back to center. If you need to move the ball, move it around. And let's try again. Sit nice and tall. You can even leverage with your hands from the floor, like by pushing against the floor, sticking your bum out, and lean forward. Come back out. If you need to move your ball, move it around. And let's just go ahead and do our flex and point. And when you are ready, once you finish a few times flexing and pointing, take the ball out. If you, for the next roll, we're going to roll our IT bands, which is the side of your leg. So this is a controversial area to roll. A lot of dancers, we were always like told that we should be rolling our IT bands. You can do it with the balls inside your little toad or with the roller. I will go for the roller. And that's it. We were always told that we should be rolling our IT bands, but recent research has told us that we don't want your IT band to be soft because it's what keeps your knees stable, right? So yes. If you are to roll your IT bands, I wouldn't recommend doing it more than twice or thrice a week, and that's it, right? So whenever you're ready, go ahead, place your balls or your roll directly on the side of your leg. Again, you choose, and then you can like kind of rotate out and in out of it, depending on how that feels for you. As you can tell, one of my legs is in the back, and I'm propping myself up on my forearm, but feel free to take any shape that works for you. And do breathe, because this is a very tender spot, it feels very intense, right? So make sure that you're still breathing. Go very slowly if you need to. And same thing, you can go as high up as your bum. I used to do that all the time to kind of like give it a break. And you can go as lower, as far, wow, English, as far down, just above your knee. You can always just park at a certain stop and breathe in and breathe out in there. Your leg doesn't have to be in the back. If it's better for you to be in the front, if you have a better grip, having that other leg in the front, go for it. And when you're ready, let's get down and try for the other side. Hello, IT bands. It was back in the day where everything was like, no pain, no gain. And because this is very painful, like people will be like, yeah, you're doing super great. It's not painful, it's just a tender spot. So go ahead. When I have my leg in the front, for example, my other leg in the front, I feel like I can take more weight out of my roller. If you want to park at a spot, just breathe in and breathe out in there. And when you're ready, get down very carefully. Swing your legs forward to the front of your mat. And then just give them a nice little shake. Hello, thank you, legs, for taking all of that. We'll do a little bit of our hamstring activation. So grab your roller and place it right underneath your knee. And I think my camera's too far away. I'll bring it a little bit closer. Because I guess since we're doing everything on the ground right now. Or like in this class. Place your roller underneath your knee. Flex your foot a lot. And I just want you to engage your quad a lot and let it go. And engage your quad. Wow, I guess I don't have any muscle definition anymore. And let it go. I'm like, I can't see. And engage it. Do make sure that you can tap it to make sure that it's working, and let it go. Engage it and let it go. You're going to engage the quad, stretch that leg, press against your roller, and lower your heel. Let it go. Engage quad, press knee down, lift your heel, and lower. Everything goes. Again, quad, knee, heel, and let it go. And one last time, quad, knee presses down, heel goes up, and stay there. With that quad very, very engaged, give it a couple little taps to make sure it's still working. And now point your toes and flex. This is how strong your legs should be on a tendu, for example. And as we know, tendu is the base of all technique. Same thing goes for dégagé, same thing goes for grand battement, and so on and so forth, right? Keep on engaging. How are you doing? Are you kind of tired already on your leg? I know, right? It gets tiring. Once you are a little bit exhausted, do 3 more. 3 flex and point more, yeah? Yeah. If you have a cramp, definitely let it go. And when you're ready, come back down. Woo, give it a nice little shake. Let's do the other leg. Place that roller underneath your knee. And let's, excuse me, that was very crazy. Start with your quad, engage your quad a lot, even look at it and make sure, like, notice how it gets linear or engaged. It's not linear, it's just engaged. And let it go, engage, and let it go. Wow, I really don't have any muscle definition anymore. Engage, and let it go. Let's engage the quad, press your knee down, lift your heel, and let it go. Go for your quad, press down your knee, lift your heel, and let it go. Keep on doing quad, knee, heel. Do make sure that your, let it go, that your thigh bone is nice and all the way back into your hip. Keep on going. And let it go. One last time. And this one stays up. From here, your quads engage, your foot's flex still. Look at that quad and point your toe and let it flex. And point and flex. And point and flex. Hello quads, hello hamstrings even, and flex. Because our quad's very engaged, that means our hamstring is very stretched, right? Yeah. Remember, all those muscles work in opposition. How are we doing? This one, for whatever reason, my ankle is getting a little tighter in this one, in this side. Once you're a little bit exhausted, do 3 more. Whew. Whew. And when you're ready, just bring it down. Take your roller away. Give a nice little shake to your legs. A nice little tap. Flex your heels, flex your feet a lot. Lengthen your arms to the sky and find a little forward fold. Rolling all the way up. Let's give that a try. This time, when you extend your arms to the ceiling, engage your quads a lot. Keep your heels on the ground and then forward fold. Try that again. Reach up to the ceiling and look at your quads and see them engage. Stick your bum out and forward fold. Try to stay there for a couple of breaths. You are super engaged. This is an active forward fold. Now, can you engage your lower abs a little bit to get a little bit closer to your thighs? Lengthen your back. It's like you're sticking your butt out as much as you can. Don't let go of those quads. You breathe. And when you're ready, come back up. Find your toe seated position and eventually tuck your tailbone in under and roll all the way down to the ground. We're going to do pretty much the same. Bring both of your legs up to the ceiling and have your hands out wide on a T-shape position kind of thing. You're going to take a nice breathe in and thoughts. Let me organize my thoughts. So right now, for the first couple of ones, our legs are not going to be doing much. We're going to be bringing our feet close to our face and then relaxing, but I want you to think more of your lower abs. That's what's going to help the movement happen, right? Just for the first few ones, and then we'll start engaging. Ready? Take a nice breath in, and on your breath out, bring your legs closer to your chest. Think of your lower abs. Inhale to let them go. Exhale to bring them closer. Inhale to let them go. Exhale to bring them closer. Inhale to let them go. Exhale to bring them closer. Inhale to let them go. This time, engage your quads, flex your feet a lot. And exhale to bring them closer. A little bit closer over time. Inhale to let them go. Exhale, closer. One last time, let them go. Exhale, bring your legs as close to your chest as you can, making sure that your tailbone is still fully on the ground. Now you can grab on behind your legs, say your hamstrings, your calves, or your ankles, and give them a nice little pull so that they are even closer to your chest. Again, your back is fully on the floor. Your tailbone is touching the ground. That's probably anatomically impossible, but let's just go for that. When you're ready, let go of your legs. Just give a nice little shake. Bring your legs, your knees to your chest, give them a nice little hug. And extend your left leg long on the ground. Take a nice inhale in here. And on your exhale, bring your knee closer to your chest. Inhale to let go. Exhale a little bit closer to your armpit. Inhale to let go. Exhale a little bit closer to almost the floor, that knee. Let that go. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, knee to your chest. Let's stay here at the chest. Inhale, let it go. Exhale, pull it closer. Inhale, let it go. Grab behind your knee and pull your leg closer to your chest, and then extend your leg as little or as much as you want. This is your front splits in a different relationship to gravity. When you're done with that, bring bend at your knee and just extend that leg long on the floor. Bring the opposite knee to your chest. Take a nice inhale in here, and on your exhale, bring it to your chest. Feel that hinging at your hip. Inhale to let go. Exhale, open your knee a little bit towards your armpit. Inhale to let go. Exhale a little bit farther out onto almost the floor. And let it all go, come to center. Now let's stay towards the chest. Inhale in here. Exhale to bring your thigh bone as close to your ribs and your belly as possible on your chest. And let it go. A nice inhale. And pull it in. Try not to grip at your hip. Inhale, grab behind your knee and pull it in. And when you're ready, stretch that leg as little or as much as you can. Notice how your thigh is very close to your chest or your belly or your ribs. This is also like a direct version, different version of a planche, right? Because that's what's happening in a planche. Your upper body goes down towards your supporting leg, right? And when you're ready, let it all go. Shake your legs a little bit. Rock them from side to side, your hips, take any movements that you need to release a little bit. Let me see what I'm missing. Oh, perfect. And when you're ready, take a nice inhale, reach your arms overhead, stretch it all out, arch your back, point your toes. And on your exhale, bring your knees to your chest. Again, a nice inhale. And on your exhale, bring your chin to your chest and start rolling like a ball up and down your spine until you find your tabletop. Go for it. Go into your tabletop. Make sure that your wrists are underneath your shoulders. Although I have been reading that for some people that is very uncomfortable. So for some, and this is all depending on your bone like structure, right? So if for whatever reason you find it a little bit more comfortable to just walk your hands a little bit farther out, go for it. Just experiment and see how that feels, right? We'll go into our cats and cows. Inhale, looking up. And exhale, look down and tuck your belly. Inhale, look up for your cow. And exhale into your cat. Continue with these movements, but I want you to place the focus on your hips. Your hips are the leader of these movements. And eventually take any movements that you need, a little circle of your hips or your chest or anything that is calling to you today. When you're ready, tuck your toes under, lift your hips up to the ceiling and find your downward facing dog. Do, again, take any movements that you need, paddle at your feet. Reach your right leg up to the ceiling. Keep your hips square. Now bend at your knee and open your hips towards the side a lot. Come back to center and bring your leg down to the ground. Other side, inhale to reach your left leg up to the ceiling, bend at your knee and open your hips to the side. Just a nice little stretch. Come back to center and bring your leg down. We'll repeat right leg up to the ceiling. This time, take a big step in between your hands and lower your back knee to the ground. We're in a low lunge position. Take a nice inhale up to the ceiling. And on your exhale, hinge at your hips into a half splits. Stay here, flex your foot a lot. You don't have to go all the way down to your heel. You can be a little bit high up, but let's repeat the same thing. Stick your bum out a lot and engage your quad so that your upper body goes closer to your leg. Ooh. When you are done with that, walk again towards the front. And this time, walk your hands up to your knee and find your low lunge. Now, come out of your lunge a little bit into a more of a square position. I want you to rock your pelvis under and then stick your bum out. We're rocking our hips a lot. Feeling that stretch on the front of your back hip every time you tuck your tailbone under. Now, when you're ready, come to a neutral position, very, very square. Engage your lower abs, engage your glutes, and then go farther down into your lunge. We're lengthening, we're stretching the front of our hip and come back to that square position. Take a nice inhale to engage your lower abs and your side of your bum and then go into that lunge. Yes, one last time. Into center, make sure everything is nice and square, and then go down into your lunge, stay here. Take a nice inhale, engage that back glute a lot and try to bring your heel up to your bum. The back heel up to your bum and lower it. You can come down on the floor with your hands if you need to. Take a nice inhale to make sure that your bum is engaged and bring that heel up to your bum and lower. Yes, I'm sorry. Please feel free to have to roll your mat for extra cushion. And one last time. And lower. Stretch, lift that knee off the ground. Walk your hands a little bit farther front. Bend the knee and take a nice sprint forward for a little bit of a standing splits. When you're ready, melt your leg down and walk your feet back into your downward facing dog. And we'll do the other side. Stretch your left leg up to the ceiling and take a big step in between your hands. Lower that back knee to the ground. Inhale, look up to the ceiling. And on your exhale, hinge at your hips for that half splits. Great. Again, if you need an extra cushion in your underneath your knees, maybe right now is a good place to go. When we're here, we can either be very passive, just kind of letting that hamstring stretch, or engage your quad a lot, flex your toes a lot, stick your bum a lot, and try to lean forward. Whew. When you're ready, come back to your to the front and walk your hands up to your knee. Come out of your lunge a little bit into your square position. Take a nice inhale. I think I'm just going to roll my mat as well. Take a nice inhale in here, and on your exhale, tuck your tailbone under a lot. Inhale to stick your bum out, arch your back. Exhale to tuck. Inhale to arch. Exhale to tuck. Inhale to arch. And exhale, come to your neutral spine. Engage your lower abs, that side of the bum, and go forward into your lunge, deeper into your lunge. We want to make sure that your bum is engaged so that we're protecting our hips. Come back to center. And get into it. Go into your lunge. Inhale to center. Make sure your glutes still engaged. Exhale to your lunge. Either stay here or you can place your hands down on the ground for lifting your heel to your bum. Take a nice inhale here, and on your exhale, lift that heel towards your bum. Back heel towards your bum. And let it go. Inhale in here. Exhale to lift. Really engage that glute in the back. Hello, hamstrings again. Inhale in here. This is a good old hamstring curl. And exhale to lift. Notice how your hamstring is doing a lot of work here, and the front of your hip, which is your quad, it's totally stretched, right? Same opposition. Let that go. Actually, walk your hands a little farther forward, and from here, you can just press into your standing splits. Yeah. When you're ready, melt that leg onto the ground and walk your feet back again into your downward dog. Just for good measure, we'll do those half splits on each side.
Inhale, reach up to the ceiling with your right. Exhale, step in between your hands. Lower your back knee down to the ground. Take a nice inhale in here to lift up to the ceiling. And on your exhale, find your hinge on your hips into that half split and notice if there is any difference. Fun times, eh? It feels good. Come back up to the front. Walk your hands to the side of your mat and just stretch that back knee into the side lunge. Yeah, great, everyone. Lift your hips up and switch your side lunge. Yeah. Lift your hips up and switch your high lunge. Yes. Lift your hips up. We're going to switch your high lunge. Walk your hands to what is the back of your mat and lower your back knee to the ground. You are on the other side. Inhale, look up to the ceiling. And exhale to hinge at your hips. Ta-da! Half splits on the other side. Come back to center. Inhale, look up. And exhale, hinge at your hips. Inhale up to the front, and we're going to go back. Exhale, walk your hands to the side of your mat, find your side lunge. You'll have to rotate that side leg. Great, everyone. Inhale, lift your hips up, and exhale, side lunge on the other side. Yes, if you want to do this without hands, please be my guest. Inhale, lift your hips, exhale to your side lunge. Inhale, lift your hips. Exhale to your side lunge. Walk your hands to the front of your mat. Bend that back knee down on the ground. And find your child's pose. Ooh. How are we doing, my friends? Great. Those hips are ready. When you are ready to continue, you can stay here. Please be my guest and stay here. Or when you're ready to continue, roll all the way up, sitting on your heels, or you can go into your knees. So, grab your blocks, place them on each side of the mat, on either side, and you're going to place your roller in front of it, right? I will just take the front block so that you can see. We're basically just going to place our foot on top of the roller. Imagine that my other block is here, so I just want you to be able to see out here. And you're going to inhale, try to stay very tall, engage that glute in the back, and then you can start sliding into your front splits, right? Come out of it a couple of times and try the same, making sure that your hips are nice and square, both of your hip bones are looking forward. And one of the most important things that I'm focusing on today is that back glute, very engaged once you go down into your, what would be your lunge, right? So go ahead and do them at your own timing. I'll come around and see what's happening. Do make sure that you're breathing. And that leg in the front, you want the quad to be engaged. You want your foot to be flexed. Christine, if you have two balls, maybe it will be easier on the two balls. Do you have them? Do you have the two balls? No? Okay, then don't worry. Go for it, go for it. Yeah, just start sliding forward into your front split. Be very aware of that glute in the back that needs to be engaged before you start going down. And once you had enough, everyone else, because Christine just started her journey. Good job, Christine. It looked great. Once you've had you have enough, go as deep down into your front splits as you want to, and just hold in there for a bit, for at least 2 to 3 breaths. Yes, feel that back hip lengthening. Yes, you can walk your blocks forward. Beautiful. Keep on engaging those lower abs so that there is some energy lifting you up off the ground. Like even if we were to have like full splits down to the ground, you still want your pelvic floor to be sustaining you, right? If you feel like you want to get rid of the blocks and start trying to go farther down, go for it. Or remember that your blocks had 3 settings, so you can just like flip them around. Yeah, good job, Mary. Look at that. Beautiful, everyone. Whenever you're ready, get out of it. Yeah, roll yourself, pike at your hips and start rolling up. Yeah. And carefully going to the other leg. Take any movements in between that you need, perhaps a child's pose, anything that you find that your body needs before going into the other side. This is great work, everyone. I'm a little bit over on my 45 minutes. I usually like this class to be like around 45, but oh well. To make sure that your hips are square, both hip bones are looking forward. That glute in the back it's what's helping you. It's like your powerhouse, that glute in the back in combination with your lower abs. Try not to bounce into that splits, just one smooth, long and steady roll. Rolling in and out of it at least a couple of times before settling into your splits. Again, try to stick your bum out a lot on the very first stage. Yes, so that you give space for that hip to open up. And when you're ready, just find your splits position. Do not let go of that back glute, because then you'll potato like a sack of, you know how like you let go of a sack of potatoes and then you go like, that will happen if you let go of that back glute. Beautiful. Engage your lower abs. Don't forget them. Your pelvic floor. And once you had enough, get out of it. Take your child's pose or a forward fold. Anything that you need. Feel free to shimmy your hips or find any kind of movement there if that's what your body is looking for, or just stay. When you're ready, roll all the way up. Sit onto the one side of your hip and swing your legs forward. And just give them a nice little shake. Thank you, legs. You've done a lot for me today. A nice little tap. And we're done. Woo. How are we feeling?